actually see the top of the cathedral come down I've never seen anything like it in my life. There's just no words, to be quite honest. It was absolutely awful.
Tragedy in New Zealand. Massive quake rocks the country's second largest city, leaving devastation in its wake.
We continue to follow developing news out of New Zealand, where a magnitude 6.3 earthquake left the city of Christchurch in ruins. At least 65 are dead and hundreds are missing or trapped in the rubble.
Now, in the words of the country's prime minister, it may well be New Zealand's darkest day. NBC national correspondent Natalie Morales reports.
It's crushed the building there and the cars.
In the moments after the earthquake,
it's terrifying.
Chaos on the ground. People ran to escape crumbling buildings.
Just utter devastation.
1 minute people were inside. The next minute, they suddenly found themselves on the outside. With smoke rising from the rubble, police cleared danger zones.
This building comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please? Please?
A makeshift medical center was set up to treat the injured.
Yeah, I am okay.
The walking wounded everywhere on the street. Others had to be carried as rescue workers swept across the city searching for survivors.
Suffered the most.
Fire crews rescued one woman who'd been trapped on the top story of a collapsed building, greeted by co-workers on the ground, overcome with emotion.
They fell.
This four-story building flattened like a stack of pancakes, with at least 30 people trapped inside.
Words can't describe it.
With elevators jammed, people used ropes to escape some office buildings.
24 people are now being rescued.
These people rescued from the 17th floor after a stairwell collapsed.
It's such an icon.
And the Christchurch Cathedral, one of the city's most iconic landmarks, heavily damaged after its spire crashed to the ground. A dark day for the city as New Zealand's Deputy Prime Minister focuses on saving those who may still be alive.
Our focus is now firmly going on those people who may be remaining trapped in collapsed buildings. Our condolences go to the loved ones who, of course, will be deeply worried and anxious for the people who are missing.
Just awful there. Well, let's bring it back home now and talk about some problems that we've seen of our own, winter weather problems in the Midwest. This is all due to an ice jam on the Des Moines River. This in northern Iowa caused flooding in Fort Dodge. Nearby residents really couldn't do much to save their homes, their cars, their belongings. And in fact, they were shocked at how quickly the water rose and rushed into their homes. We can get really quick water rises when we get those ice jams. The ice begins to break apart this time of year, flows downstream, forms a dam, and water rushes in back behind it and rises very quickly. And many of these flood warnings that you see all in green are due to flood jams. And one in particular here around Michigan. This is a continuing problem here around the Grand River near Comstock Park. Grand River continuing to rise behind that ice jam. And, you know, we'll get these happening here this time of year because of quick warm-ups. And we will continue to see temperatures just sort of rise briefly above the freezing mark here during the day. And of course, sunshine going to work on that can also do that and also melt snowfall. And as a result, bring more rivers up out of the banks. Well, we still have snow that's falling here back behind the big system that brought 6 inches and more to portions of Pennsylvania and back all the way into Ohio. Continuing to see snow fall around Columbus, Ohio, around Cincinnati. It's falling too, and we might even see some more around Pittsburgh as we head into the evening. Maria?
All right, Nick, a beautiful afternoon underway in Memphis. 51 degrees and mostly sunny skies. Isn't that gorgeous? Enjoy it while we can. We have some big changes coming up for Memphis and much of the South and the Mid-Atlantic, too. We've got another storm moving our way, and we're looking at the rainy side also being a stormy side. We've got this warm, moist flow developing. It's battling the cold Arctic air, and that battle zone is going to help fuel what we're expecting to be some very strong showers and thunderstorms. And that jet jet stream is that power source, the storm track essentially, and as it continues to develop tomorrow night into Thursday is the time frame we're looking at. So Memphis, you're going to start to see those showers and thunderstorms tomorrow evening, looking at 40+ million people impacted, and that severe weather potential isn't just gusty winds and hail, but also tornadoes, and that risk stretches from Dallas into Memphis during the day on Thursday, and we're going to see that push off to the east Thursday night. Even some isolated tornadoes as the conditions seem favorable right now. All the ingredients are coming together. Nick?
Still to come, we're heading to the Digital Media Center for more on the New Zealand earthquake. And we're scanning interstates across the country to help you navigate your evening commute. The travel forecast is just ahead here on Day Planner. Keep it tuned here to the Weather Channel.
Lately, we've been looking for faucets in all these designer home magazines.
Look at that one.
Oh,
wow. Am I right?
That looks pricey.
So we went to Lowe's, and that's what we heard Sarah say.
Nobody beats our prices.
Music to my ears.
Well, that's why at Lowe's we sell more Kohler, Moen, and Delta than any national retailer. And of course, nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
I love that.
Experience. Lowe's. Let's build something together. Through March 14th, save up to $400 instantly on products for your next bathroom update.
Homeowners, rates have been going up, but you can still refinance to a fixed rate as low as 4.5% at LendingTree.com, where customers save an average of $293 a month. Call LendingTree at 1-800-800-8733 today.
Hola, Padre.
Hola. You do everything so they're at their best. So start their big days with the incredible protein. Eggs.
Chronologically, I'm 60 years old. Is it the new 40? I don't know. I probably feel about 30. How is it that we don't act our age?
You keep us young.
We were having too much fun. We weren't thinking about a will at that time. We have responsibilities to the kids and ourselves. We're the Vargos, and we created our wills at LegalZoom.
Finally.
We created LegalZoom to help you take care of the ones you love. Go to LegalZoom.com today and complete your will in minutes. At LegalZoom.com, we put the law on your side.
Unwrap your paradise. Soft, sweet coconut covered in rich, creamy chocolate. Almond Joy and Mounds. Unwrap paradise.
The Weatherman. Good morning, everybody.
The Weather Team.
We have breaking news for you this morning.
This is not a joke, people. It is going to get brutally cold.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 11 Eastern. A lot of weather.
Here's all the rain.
So a lot of action across the country.
A big problem.
Cancellations across the board.
And a little fun.
Frosty Mini Wheats and milk. Let them sit there, eat them, and then smell a Band-Aid. Same thing, I swear.
And scene. Wake up with Al and your weather today. Weekday mornings from 6 to 11 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Great stories, great shows. The Weather Channel. Prime for excitement. And now, your local on the 8s.
it's an earthquake, get under the tables.
It's just horrendous.
It all collapsed and all the doors were shut. We had to smash the window out.
To actually see the top of the cathedral come down, to actually see it topple in front of the cathedral, to see the dust and have people running out, it was absolutely awful.
Welcome back to Day Planner as we go over to the Digital Media Center for more on this deadly earthquake. That's where Maria LaRosa is right now. Maria, bring us up to date on some of these, well, what we're hearing is some pretty gruesome details.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that tragedy is unfolding in New Zealand where we had that earthquake and we're hearing that's killed at least 65 people. Here are the major bullet points on this quake. It was 6.3 magnitude, centered on the nation's South Island. This is not the first major quake experienced by New Zealanders. A 7.1 quake shook Christchurch back in September, but there were no major reports of injuries then. This is reportedly an aftershock of that event. Now, the reason why New Zealand sees all these earthquakes is because it sits on a fault line, and you can see that in that area we have a huge area called the Pacific Ring of Fire, where we have the most reported earthquakes and also the most active areas of volcanoes, and New Zealand sits in one of those areas right along that fault line, so it is prone to see earthquakes fairly often. Now, 17-year-old Cameron Betts was in Christchurch when the earthquake struck, very close to the historic cathedral that collapsed. These are recaps we're getting from the ground.
All around me, you know, there was bricks falling down everywhere. Just down the road, there was a huge fire happening, and shortly after, a lot of helicopters swooped in and tried to put that out. So yeah, it was, I mean, there was big, huge cracks in the road, power lines were down, and, you know, cars had been smashed, and, you know, there was a repetitive horn sound.
It's just amazing how an earthquake that was actually smaller on the Richter scale has caused just so many deaths in such a small city. I mean, Christchurch is only home to about 370,000 people, so a death toll of this magnitude is just overwhelming, not only for them, but for us up in the northern part of New Zealand, up in Auckland.
And this is one of our leading stories on our homepage at weather.com, so we'll continue to update that page and also bring you updates on the air. Nick?
Thank you very much for that update. Appreciate it, Maria. We want to take you traveling now.